Greetings everyone. How would you like to save some document design time by using a feature called Quick Parts, where you can access images, signatures, document parts from within the document that you are working on, rather than having to go open another document and copy what you want and paste into the document you are in. And Quick Parts is going to be a huge time saver. If you've never used this feature before, you've really missed out. But on the insert ribbon, that's where it's located, and it's in the text group. That way you can follow along if you want to pull up a document of your own and work with. And here's what we're going to do. First, I'm going to go ahead and go to the page where I've got it set up for us. And here are some things for you to maybe take notes on before we start this process, which is going to be quick, on how to use Quick Parts. Some things to know is that in Microsoft Word, it is filled with what are called building blocks. And a building block is content that's been formatted and stored for use in Word documents. These pre-built building blocks that exist in Word, for example, on the Insert ribbon in the Pages group is a button for Cover Page. This is a gallery of pre-built cover pages that people can insert and then modify to their liking. So if you were going to create your own cover page and you wanted to use that regularly, then the place to store it after creation would be in this building block library called Cover Pages. In fact, at the bottom you can see, let me select something so you can see. You have to have something selected before it becomes an option. Going back to Cover Page, I have something selected in the document, and there's this option to save the selection to the Cover Page gallery. Now, if you were to create a header and footer, see when you go to header or footer, it's a pre-built list of header blocks that you can use to customize with. But there are times where what you want to store and have access to in all your documents doesn't fit in one of these categories. For example, I want to include some text that I've created in a Quick Part so that whenever I am in another document and I want this verbiage, then it'll be available to me. And know this, that when you place something into a Quick Part or a building block that already exists, gallery, it will be available to you no matter what document you are working in. So here goes. This is some verbiage I've written for some marketing material about word formatting and pagination issues. And this is verbiage that I would like to use from time to time in some other marketing documents. But I want it available to me no matter what document I am in. The first step in storing to a Quick Part library is to select what you want to store. Now remember, there is no library building content for text. So I'm putting it into Quick Parts. It is selected, that's step number one. Number two is from the Insert ribbon, choose Quick Parts. When you choose Quick Parts, there is an option at the bottom that says Save Selection to Quick Part Gallery, and that's what I'm going to do. Now when you choose this option, you will need to name your Quick Part, and you will need to choose, for example, what category you want to store it under. For example here, I'm going to call this one Word Formatting. So it's information about word formatting and pagination issues. I'm just going to call it Word Formatting. And it is assuming you want this to go in the gallery that you've chosen, Quick Parts, which we do. The third one is, and I encourage you to do this for organizational purposes, you should create categories for the Quick Parts that you are creating. For example, I know this is going to be about Microsoft Office marketing, and I'm going to choose category, down arrow, and choose create new category. And I'm going to call it Office Marketing. That's just letting me know that these materials are relative to marketing about Microsoft Office. Then if I have any other verbiage or images or anything I have to do with marketing Microsoft Office for training, I can store it in that category. It'll always already be created for me. The description is for your use only. As you create your QuickPart library, I encourage you to use descriptions, because as that grows more and more, the content you are creating, it will be very helpful to describe what the purpose of the content is. The save in goes into a template called building blocks. That's the default in Word, and whenever you load the Word program, it loads the normal template. That's another topic of its own, and it loads a template called building blocks, and the default location for it is building blocks. Now there's more depth to that topic on its own, but for now we're going to stay with the basics, and the basics are going to do a lot for you when you go back to use this. Then the last option says insert content only, and when you click the down arrow, your options are to choose how it comes in to your document when you insert it. Do you want it to be insert content only? Do you want it to come in as its own paragraph or in its own page? For example, if I were doing a cover page insert, would want that to be in its own page. But for us, I'm sticking with insert content only. So wherever your cursor is active at the time you bring it in, that's where it's going to bring it in. And then click on OK. Now it's ready for use in any document. And I'm going to open a new document so you can see for yourself. Then we're going to go back and we're going to create another QuickPart. I'm going to go ahead and do a new document here. And now in this document, and I want to bring in what I created. And from there, I would simply be where I wanted to insert it and go back to the insert ribbon, because that's where QuickParts is. And then in that text group, QuickParts, take a look. It shows my category I created called Office Marketing. And then the name of it is Word Formatting, and there it is. So no matter what document you are in, brand new or existing, this is going to travel with you within Word. It's now stored for use globally within Word. Let me go back to the original document. And let's go to this next one. Here is an image that I want to bring into a document that explains about Word's paragraph settings for line and page breaks. And I'm going to be using that in an instructional piece. And it's in this document, and I want to make it available to any document. Again, you would need to select what you want to save. And I've got the image selected, which is a simple click when it comes to an image for selection. I go back to QuickParts and choose that I do want to save this selection to the gallery, QuickPart Gallery. Again, I get the same thing. Because this is not text, I'm not getting any words in here, and I'm going to put in my name that this is paragraph settings image. And again, I'm letting it store to the QuickParts Gallery, but I want a different category. And from the down arrow, I'm going to choose Create New Category. I'm going to call this one Screenshots for images that I have created. And you know what? I think what is a better name is I'm going to put Images, because that's what this is. And I'm going to create a category for images. And before I click OK, know this too. Images is pretty broad when you think of the word images. So if you've got categories of images that have to do with different things, then I would suggest you be a little bit more descriptive with what the images are about. So if these are images for the marketing newsletter, then you might want to put images marketing. You get the idea. Now, I'm going to click on OK. Again, I'm bypassing description for time reasons, going with the defaults, and then click on OK. Again, I could go back to any document and insert it. And then you would just continue this process. For example, here's my company logo. I use this logo a lot, and I want it to be available to me in any document. So third run here, and then how do you edit a QuickPart? How do you get to your QuickParts? And that's coming next. But for now, one more saving of a QuickPart. I've selected the image. I'm on Insert, QuickParts, and I want to save the selection. I'm going to name this one Most Logo. I am going to create a new category and I'm going to call it Logos. So any logo, because I have different versions of this logo, different colors, transparencies, etc. So any other logos that I would save, it's going to go to my category called Logos. At least that's what I would choose when I go to save another logo. I will choose that it be placed into that category. Because take a look. When I click the down arrow, it shows me the other categories I've already created. One for images, one for office marketing, and then so every time you create a category, it will be in your list from that point forward. And now, going to the Quick Parts button. See, here we have 3 categories now. I have images. I have images. And I have Most Logo. And I have office marketing. Office marketing. Now, the next piece is this. How do you remove a quick part if it's no longer needed for use? You just want to clean the library, the gallery. When you click the down arrow for quick parts, if I want to now say remove this paragraph settings image, then you're just a right click away. When you right click, one of your options is organize and delete. Now when you choose organize and delete, it opens up the building blocks organizer. Now when I'm teaching this topic in full about building blocks and quick parts, which is about a 45-minute training, I explain more about what this dialog box contains. But as far as this training, you need to know that when you choose to organize and delete, that it will open the building blocks organizer, which, by the way, gives you a list of all the building blocks that are within Word by default, by design, and any that you've created. Now, it will automatically select that item because that was the one that you had chosen to organize and delete. And at this moment, I'm going to choose delete and click yes. Now it's not going to be in quick parts at all. Now I just have 2 quick parts left. Now let's go over the final piece. How do you edit a quick part? For example, the office marketing, and I'll go ahead and get to a new document for this. And I do wish that Microsoft somewhere down the road would give us a easier way to do this, but basically you're going to have to insert what it is that needs to be modified, modify it, and resave it out under the previous name. So let me take a look at what I've got. Insert quick parts. This is a quick part I called word formatting. So that's the name, and that's the name I'm going to want to give it again. But I have to bring it in first to make the modifications. So for example, if I wanted to now delete this paragraph that says line and page break settings, then I would have to select it and delete it, and whatever other changes I needed to make. Then you would have to reselect and go back through the process again. Quick parts and choosing save selection to quick part gallery, and then naming it the same thing that you named it before and putting it under the category you want, and then saving it so that it will replace the old with the new. Just want to make sure that was clear for you. So that's your quick look at quick parts. So by way of review, anything that you want to retain content-wise for reuse in your documents, if there is no existing category for that type of content, then Quick Parts is the place to store it. Now I'm going to go over one more thing, and this has to do with, let me get back to the original document. This one has to do with the a footer, for example. A footer, there is a header and footer gallery of building block contents. And I have a custom footer here that I always like to put the web address name in this, and I like to, when I'm page numbering, I like it to say page one of however many pages there are. And then I like to include the YouTube channel because it's free education for people, and they subscribe and then get notices whenever I upload new videos. Now this is a custom one I created, and now I want to save it. Again, you must select, but the part here is this isn't going to Quick Parts because there is a building block library for footers. And that will be so much easier later when I'm inserting these custom footers that I create or headers. They'll be in that one library. But it all starts the same. Select what is going to be retained. And I have. And now what I'm going to do is go back to the I'm going to go to the header footer ribbon. The reason why the header footer ribbon in this case is I'm active in the footer zone, and because that I'm active in the footer, you always have a ribbon that is unique to a header or footer that you are active in. So from here I'm choosing header and footer, and then I want to put it in the footer gallery. And over to the left is the group called header and footer, and there's the button for footer. There are the pre-builds, the building blocks, if you will. But mine is custom. And I'm going to choose Save Selection to Footer Gallery. And up comes a box wanting to know what I want to name it. And I'm going to call this Most Custom Footer. And notice what it says. It says that the gallery is footers, where when we were working with Quick Parts, it said Gallery Quick Parts. And when I click the down arrow, you can see all the different galleries that are in Word, but it has defaulted to footer because that's what I'm working in, and that is where I want it to go. And then on category, it says built-in. But again, I want to categorize my special custom items, and I'm going to choose create a new category, and I'm going to call this one Most Footers, because I might have different footer designs for different projects that I'm working on. So Most Footers, and of course about the description I'm bypassing for time's sake. I am letting it go into building blocks default and insert content only, and I'm going to click on OK. Now I'm going to go to a blank document. And here I am, and I'm ready to, with this multi-page document, I'm ready to put in my custom footer. And from here, I can go to the View ribbon, Insert ribbon. So from your Insert ribbon, over on the right, you will see Header and Footer. And then there's the button for the gallery of footers. And when you click the down arrow, you'll see the built-ins. Now again, I didn't put mine in built-in because I wanted to have specific categories for footers that I'm creating. And when you scroll through the list, whatever custom category you create for a footer or a header, it will always be at the bottom of the built-ins. It'll always be at the bottom of the built-ins. And there it is, the category I called Most Footers, and then the name I gave it, which is Most Custom Footer. And then when I click, there we go. See, down at the bottom, I have my footer. And I'm going to have it no matter what document I'm in, I can retrieve that custom footer. Now, you should have an idea of the differences between working with the Quick Parts versus when to work with a building block library. And I hope that helps. This is a simple feature, Quick Parts, and then knowing about the building blocks, but it's often overlooked feature that saves so much time. So again, I'm Donna Gilliland, and I hope you found this helpful. And we will talk soon when I upload more videos.